Okay, this music can stop.
天音鈴葉です。橋田タイターの娘です。あなたにとってはつい数時間前以来のことかもしれない。今は西暦2000年の6月13日です。これをあなたが読んでいるだいたい10年前ということになります。結論だけ書く。失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した。
I don't want to keep reading now. This is enough for me. I'm already getting where this is going. I failed, 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 I failed. I failed, I failed, I failed, I failed, I failed.
私は失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した私は失敗した失敗。
Again, I think I'm getting where this is going. I think I know what the kind of note this is. I don't want to read this note. I failed, 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 I failed.
西暦2000年の6月14日です。
God damn it, I want to give her a hug now.
これをあなたが読んでいるだいたい9年前
Because
10年前になります。
I already know where this letter is going. She killed herself, right? I mean, usually you don't write you failed a fucking 1,000 times if you're in a good mood. Jesus. Didn't change the past.
失敗した。
Yeah, I think I heard
私
that.
が私だということを思い出したのはほんの1年前だった。
Are you kidding?
恐怖の大王が落ちるとか言われてた日。バカだバカだ。何が恐怖の大王だ。どうせなら落ちてくれればよかった。
A year? Only? Damn. The hell?
私はこの24年間記憶を失っていた。
What the fuck happened?
覚えていたのは名前ぐらいだった。
This is not the end of the letter. Nope, there's more.
したのはほんの1年前だった。
Are you kidding?
恐怖の大王が落ちると言われて落ちなかった日。恐怖の大王なんてどこにもいないけど私は死にたい。修理が完全じゃなかった。タイムマシンは不具合があった。私は1975年に飛んだ時何も覚えていなかった。それを今になって思い出す私は真っ白でどうしたらいいか分からず施設に保護された。
Jesus.
今は一人暮らしをしているけどそれは橋田鈴というまっさらな人間として普通に生活してきただけで天音鈴葉としての使命は完全に忘れていて去年思い出した。
That's not her fault that she forgot. Oh my god.
失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した失敗した私は失敗。
I failed. I failed, I failed, I failed. I'm a failure.
何が原因なの。タイムトラベルはうまくいかなかった。父さんの修理が完全じゃなかったんだ。でも父さんは悪くない。私が悪いんだ。
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Oh god damn it. It's Oru's fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
まっすぐ1975年へ飛んでいればよかった。
Jesus.
2010年に寄り道するべきじゃなかった。わがままを言ってる場合じゃなかった。これじゃ未来は変わらない。 IBN5100 は手には入れられなかった。ごめんごめんね。私は何のためにこの年まで生きてきたんだろう。
Can that be the end? Oh, it's not.
使命を忘れてただのうのうと生きてきた。
Oh my god.
こんな人生何の意味もない。意味がない意味がない意味がない。
No, it's not.
思い出さなければよかった。思い出せてよかった。君に謝ることができてよかった。
It's not your fault.
許して、許して、許して、許して、許して、許して。
You're forgiven. I hereby absolve you of any wrongdoing that you think you have done because you haven't done anything wrong.
私の計画は狂ってしまった。その原因をこの1年考え続けていた。
Christ alive.
そして分かった。私が1975年へ飛ぶのを1日でもためらわなければこんなことにはならなかった。岡部倫太郎、君はあのタイムマシンオフ会の後、1975年へ飛ぼうとした私を引き止めた。それはとても嬉しかったけど、でもそこで引き止めたのは失敗だったんだ。
There you go. I was right. You gotta reverse some D-mails. That's the only way you can actually change shit.
私はあの日
Time will change
飛ば
to
なければ
fuck you
ならなか
over.
ったんだ。あの日を逃したらダメだったんだ。引き止められたから。その夜に雷雨があってタイムマシンが壊れてしまったんだ。
Oh my god, it's... Oh.
もしも時間を戻せるなら、あの日の私を引き止めないようにしてほしい。そうすれば私は君たちに IBN5100 を届けられる。使命を果たせる。
It means you don't kill yourself. Jesus, I'm gonna have to.
私は使命を果たしたい。父さんと約束したから。父さんの意志だから。私の未来を
Jesus.
変えたいから。ごめんごめんごめん。こんな人生は無意味だった。
And I'm just fucking done with life. Oh my god. My hands curled, crumpling the paper. I realized that I'm crying. Suza failed? She lost her memory? Her life was meaningless? This can't be happening. Nobody says a word. Their faces, like mine, are frozen in disbelief. Goddamn fate. I turned to Daro. He's whiter than a sheet.
誰？タイムマシンは
治ってたはずだよ。はずだけど、そもそもタイムマシンを直すのなんて初めてだったし、
We really should have tested it
見落
first.
としがあったのかも。
見落としたと。そのせいでお前の娘は24年間も記憶を失ったのだぞ。
Yeah, no, it's not the time to really blame other people, though. Let's be real here. It's not gonna get us anywhere.
僕だって好きで見落としたわけじゃ。
そうよ。二人とも落ち着きなさい。橋田はできる限りのことを精一杯やった。
お前はなんでそんなに冷静なんだ。
こういう性格なの。悪かったな。とにかく落ち着け。
It's not Dora's fault, I know that. But it can't end like this. It can't. What was Suzanne feeling as she wrote this letter? Despair, agony, worthlessness, all of the emotions. I look again at the words scrawled up on the page, every character resonant with despair. I wanted to welcome her back with a smile. Instead, this. Suzanne is dead, 10 years gone. Wait, how did she die? Take a guess. Don't tell me. Mr. Braun must know what happened. I run to the window and check the street. Mr. Braun is outside closing up shop. And seriously, just you can look at it and just assume what happened. I run downstairs.
お、岡部。例のラジカンの人工衛星消えたってよ。
Yeah, we
大
were
騒ぎ
there.
らしいぜ。
I guess it's already made the news.
そんなことより聞かせてください。
ん？なんだ？
橋田鈴さんの亡くなった状況について。
知ってどうする？
He looks at me hard. I meet his stare unflinching.
俺は今まで彼女の死について、
I already know the fucking answer.
彼女の最後を知っておかなければならない。 そんな気がするんです。そうしなくちゃいけないんだ。
単なる好奇心ってわけじゃなさそうだな。で、もう一度聞くが、すずさんとはどういう関係だ？
古い知り合いです。
That's all I can say.
とても古い知り合いで、でも彼女と過ごしたわずかな時間は聞かせてください。
あまり言いたくはないんだがな。これから俺が言うことは
Jesus.
心して聞けよ。いいか？
I slowly nod. And then I give my answer.
自殺だ。
Oh, yeah. Not surprising. The word drops on my heart like an anvil. My knees give out. I collapse to the pavement. Suicide.
自宅で
Oh.
首をつってな。俺が第一発見者だ。
Oh. My life was meaningless. I recall the last words she wrote in her letter. Words of unimaginable despair. She didn't deserve so bleak an end.
そんなことになる1年ぐらい前から精神的に随分不安定になってな。それまでは明るくて優しい人だったんだが。
When she recalled who she actually was.
俺はあの人の家に下宿させてもらってたんだ。
Jesus.
スーズさんは天涯孤独だったし、葬式にはほとんど人は来なかった。
Oh.
寂しいもんだったぜ。
Oh, stop. Oh, don't tell me that. Oh. Oh, don't tell me that. Oh, I don't need to know that.
さっきの手紙はスズさんが死ぬ1週間前に渡された。2010年の今日になったら岡部倫太郎という青年に渡してくれってな。スズさんは予知能力でも持ってたのかと思ったぜ。おめえが上に越してきた時はな。
Enough. I can't take it anymore. I try to stand, but my legs betray me. I stumble, but before I fall, a small body supports my shoulder.
おかり、大丈夫？
God, no! Mayuri. It must be taking all her strength to hold me up. Did Mayuri hear how Suzuha died? Her eyes are wet, her lips are trembling. Still, she's the one supporting me. Mayuri and I bow deeply to Mr. Bronner and turn to the lab. When we get back, Daru is seated at his computer, head on the table. I'd be fucking devastated. I'd just leave. If I was Daru, I'd leave. No. I'm done. I'm checked out for a while. Kurisu, because, I mean, the amount of grief I would feel would be unimaginable. Because, it's your fault, in a sense. That, she's dead, that she killed herself, that she lost her memory. Add to the fact that it's your daughter you just found, and then it's like, I'm done. Checked out. Christina is standing in front of the TV watching an excited reporter talk about Radikon. The disappearance of the satellite is huge news, obviously. The lounge is silent save for the TV. I look at the table. The divergence meter still reads 0.337187%. It hasn't changed since before Suzuha left. What went wrong? I can't go back 10 years with the time leap machine. I can't do anything about Suzuha's death. Should I have stopped her from leaving after all? Maybe then this tragedy wouldn't have happened. No, what choice did I have? I can't save Mayuri without the IBM 5100. Suzuha had to travel to 1975. I consider my options. What if I redo those 2 days again? Could Daru fix the time machine so this doesn't happen? Is fixing the time machine even possible? Daru's skills are second to none, and the time machine was built by his own hands 26 years in the future. It seems logical that he could be able to fix it. But look at it another way. It took Daru 26 years to learn enough to build the time machine, and he had to reverse engineer CERNs to do it. Maybe it's unreasonable to expect our Daru to perform flawless repair in only 2 days. In that case, can I have Daru use the time leap machine and repeat those 2 days until he repairs it? No, you'll have to start from scratch each time. 2 days just aren't enough. The only option you could have is she goes farther back, 24 extra years in the past. So that when, 1975 rolls around, she's already in her fucking 40s. But she'll remember at that point. That's the only difference. That would be my only option. But that's still asking a lot, because then she has to go to 51. And that's if it's 24 years exactly that she'd remember. 1951 Japan probably wasn't the best of times to live in. I collapse onto the sofa and bury my face in my hands. Mayuri sits next to me and gently rubs my back. I'm grateful for her kindness. I recall what Suzuha wrote. If you can go back to that day, please let me leave. The D-mail I sent. Could that be the cause? On the original world line, Suzuha left in 1975 after failing to meet her father. Unsatisfied with that outcome, I sent a D-mail to convince myself to follow Suzuha and prevent her from leaving. As a result, she remained in 2010 for an extra 4 days. But that night, the time machine was damaged by a thunderstorm. If I hadn't followed Suzuha that day, if I hadn't sent that D-mail to myself, her time machine would not have malfunctioned. She would have arrived safely in 1975. The solution is obvious. I need to cancel that D-mail. But can I really do that? If I change the past so that Suzuha leaves, won't that undo the 4 days we spent together? Yeah. Our frantic search through the streets of Akiba. Her heartfelt confession on the roof of Radikan. Her tearful reunion with her father, Daru. All of it will be undone. What do I do? An urgent bulletin pops up on the TV. You have to do it. You have to do it. As fucking terrible it is, you have to do it. It's better than her killing herself. I mean, as much as how great that is, the amount of despair she felt that 1 year would have been unimaginable. I look up in surprise. Bomb threat suspends those lines again. Damn, Moeka's minute will be here any minute. There's no time to think, no time to hesitate. I run downstairs, break into the Brontu workshop, and turn on the CRT. Then I return to the lab and activate the time leap machine.
Okabe, どうするつもり?
Kurisu demands answers. I can see the fear in her eyes.
なんとかしなければならない。このままでいいはずはないんだ。
岡部。
オカリン、無茶はダメだよ。
Don't try to stop me, Mayuri. I can't let this stand. There are two options. I can cancel the D-mail that convinced me to pursue Suzuha, sending a contradictory D-mail which should do the trick. Or I can time leap again and prevent Suzuha from leaving. Two options, but really just one. I'm saving because they might actually give me an option. I'd quick saving. Give me an actual save. Do not hesitate, Okabe Rentaro. Hesitation is unforgivable. You already know what you must do. Stop pursuit. Last mail. Eastern trap. That should be enough to convince me to let Suzuha go.
クリス、お前は日付を正確に覚えている特技があった。
ええ、まあ。
鈴葉の励まし会をやったのはいつだ？
The 10th.
4日前。8月
9th.
9
Fuck.
日。
I would have fucked up.
オカリン、D メールを送るの。でもそうしたら
We have
全
to.
部消えちゃうんだよ。
There's no other option. 4 days. May not sound like much, but in that time, we forged a definite bond with Suzuha. There's nothing you could have done to prevent her from losing that memory. It's impossible. To send this email is to sever that bond. I know that. But this is the only choice I have. I set the phone wave to set 97 hours ago. This email should arrive a few hours after the first. Now I just need to send it. Save Mayuri, that is my purpose. That is what drove me to leap through time. Send it. I start up the microwave. This discharge begins immediately. I place my thumb on the send button.
いいの？
Yeah. Mayuri's voice is choked with tears.
すずさんとの思い出消えちゃうんだよ。
I have to.
本当にそれでいいの？
I have to. Memories flash through my head. There is no other option. That will end well.
ほんのちょっとの間でも君たちと一緒にいられてよかった。
The way I counterbalance these memories is the despair she felt after that 1 year. That is the thing I counterbalance with. Now, I don't care to me determining what she deems as good or not. I don't think that amount of despair and hopelessness and meaningless she felt outweighs what happened these couple days.
父さんのやろうとしていたこと私が
I mean,
絶対やり遂げるから。
the amount of time she said I failed is heartbreaking. I can't let her go through that feeling.
それじゃあ35年後に会いましょう。君たちにとっては数時間後か。
I mean, I just can't let her go through that. That is just unimaginable pain and suffering for her.
未来を変えてほしい。
Susaha, I've made my choice. I won't ask for your forgiveness. Ultimately, I'm doing this to save Mayuri. That's not why. I'm doing this to save you from that depression. But at the same time, the words you spoke on that rooftop are still strong in my heart. You entrusted me with your hope for the future. If I'm to honor that wish and fulfill mine, then the time we spent together can never happen. Damn. He changed the past. Chapter 7. Maiden Complex. Jesus. Hope to God that she's alive. The world shatters into geometric shapes that expand and contract like rubber toys. Light gathers between my eyes. Stars explode behind my eyelids. Gradually, color returns to the world. I wait for the vertigo to pass. Cold sweat oozes from my temples. Pressing my fist against them, I slowly force the air out of my lungs. Has the world line changed? I head to the lounge in order to check that divergence meter.
消えた。
That means it changed. I checked the meter a few minutes ago, just before the world line changed. It's nowhere to be found. I quickly realized what has happened. Susaha gave me the meter after we stopped her from leaving. My email undid those events. Of course, the meter isn't here. A surge of regret seizes my heart. I clench my teeth and endure it as best I can. If nobody else remembers, then I alone will keep these memories of Susaha alive. I look around the room. Mayuri and Kurisu are on the sofa, dozing on each other's shoulders. They're fucking adorable. Doro, obviously, the vulnerable high school, oblivious to the vulnerable high school girls behind him, is playing an aerogay on his computer. He would. I take a deep breath and turn on the TV. I flip to the news channel. The world line should have changed. I erased the time we spent with Susaha. That should have allowed her to leap to 1975 without losing her memories, and the IBM 5100 should be in our hands now. We can use it to hack and discern and erase the data they intercepted from us. Without that information, Moeka's men won't attack the lab. Mayuri won't have to die. That's how it should be. That's how it has to be. Otherwise, why did I sacrifice Suzaha's dream? The quickest way to confirm the change would be to check for any delays at Akihabara Station.
ダル、山手線は止まっているか？
はいや、止まってないんじゃね？
ネットで調べてくれ。
今いいところなのに。
頼む。
Doro sighs and calls up train information.
やっぱ止まってないみたいだ。
ありがと
The world line has changed, which means that our IBM 5100 should be in the development room. But it's probably not. I head back there and search for it. But contrary to my expectations, I can't find it anywhere. What's going on? I look at my watch at 7:43 p.m. Moeka's men attack. At what time again? My heart is pounding like a drum. That D-mail was supposed to fix everything. The trains are moving as scheduled, which means that Moeka's men aren't going to attack. Aren't about to attack. So why does it feel like nothing's fixed at all? The IBM 5100's absence is extremely disturbing. I want to sit down and think about where it could have gone, but a voice in my head is screaming that there's no time. I need to calm down. It's hard to think straight after everything that's happened. I check my watch again, 7:46 p.m. Images from the assault flash through my mind. Mayuri bleeding to death on the floor. The smell of gunpowder in the air. I frantically shake the visions out of my head. I look towards the lab entrance. The door has yet to be kicked in by a team of hitmen. I swallow hard, petrified in horror. Please don't let anything happen. Probably nothing will happen because the world line changed. It's past 9. I peek at the street through the window. Nobody's there.
オカリン、誰か待ってんの？さっきからやたら下を気にしてっけど。
I'm waiting for people to try to kill me. And Mayuri. Dora's right. I've probably looked out the window 20 times in the past hour. And not a suspicious figure in sight. Moeka's men still haven't appeared. The raid was before 8, if I remember correctly. I think it's safe to say that my changes to the past have prevented it from occurring. It probably hasn't changed it because it's still going to happen. We're still on that world line. It will happen eventually. It just probably won't happen today. Susan's sacrifice was not in vain. I let out a deep breath. I'm sweaty and disgusting. It's like my anxiety has pushed all the sweat out of my body.
マユリ、それにクリス。
The two girls woke up from their nap about half an hour ago. Now they're eating cup noodles.
今あんた私の名前
No, Christina, I intentionally pronounced it wrong. Christina looks at me in astonishment, like she can't believe her ears.
二人とも食事が終わったら帰るんだ。もう遅いから送っていく。
そうする。
別に岡部なんかに送ってもらわなくても一人で帰れるんだけど。
I don't want you to die.
いいから。誰も支度しておけ。
え？僕も？
The train lines running through Akihabara are operating normally. There's no bomb scare, and there's no sign of Moeka or her men. Kurizu taking the Sobu line for the next station, that one, while Dara is going the opposite way to Shinkoiwa. Koiwa? Mayuri and I are taking the Yamanote line to Ikebukuro, so we are part of the station's ticket gate. Station's ticket gate. There's surprisingly few passengers on the train. I guess most of the salarymen are off for the Obon holiday. Mayuri is playing a handheld game, the Rainet Kakeru action RPG on the screen. Her character is battling a gigantic Upa. I stand beside her and gaze at her profile, lost in thought. It's the night of the 13th and Mayuri is still alive. It short circuits and kills her instantly. What? How many times have I watched her die? How many times have I tasted that despair? No matter what I do, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't save this ditzy childhood friend of mine from death. She died again and again right before my eyes. But now she's alive, standing beside me playing a game. This is why I sacrificed our memories with Suzuha. It was the only way. I'm sorry, Suzuha. And thank you. Suzuha no longer exists in this time, but I hope my feelings will reach her all the same. Actually, come to think of it, why can't I tell her in person? Where in Akiba could the 54-year-old Suzuha be? Well, since it's the same world line, she probably still died at like 40-something. But just like by some other cause, maybe a disease, illness, an injury, an accident, like something like that. Suicide again. Oh god. Oh god bless. I'll try to asking Tanoji tomorrow. He probably knows Suzaha in this world line too. I wonder if Suzaha remembers me.
ねえねえおかり
Mayuri suddenly lifts her head. She looks at me hesitantly. Her cheeks are slightly pink.
なんだ
なんだじゃないよそんなにじーって見つめられたらね気になってマユシはそわそわしちゃうのです
Don't worry about it. You're fine now. Jesus.